What's up, brother? In this video, I want to talk about why I'm done training as a hybrid athlete. Because for the past 3 months, I've been training as a proper hybrid athlete. I've been doing hybrid for a while, but I would run here and there and then really prioritize a lot of my lifts. But the past 3 months, I've ran over 100 miles per month, and I've been working out 5 times per week while still trying to balance work on the side. And what I learned is that training as a hybrid athlete, whenever you are someone who is trying to grow something or in a position of influence, does nothing but hinder you within your progress. And this is because whenever you put too much importance in one area of your life, life always has a way of balancing out the scales. And so over the past 3 months, I've been training extremely hard for me to be able to prepare for a marathon that I had just finished. And during that time, I saw stagnant growth within my work because I was able to be locked in, but I always was thinking about training. And when I have been able to be the most creative, it's whenever I can put a ton of attention into training, but also be able to put the same amount of effort into my mind and my spirituality. And so that's why from now on, I will be training to become undeniable. And what that means is from now on, my training style will be structured not only around the physical, but the mental and the spiritual as well. I will be putting just as much effort into every area of my life that actually moves the needle and not trying to maximize one. I will maximize each and every single one of them at the same time because what that does is it aligns my mind with the version of me that I need to be. And every single time I have done this, I have grown not only financially, but spiritually and personally as well. Because whenever you put attention into growing the mind, growing the vessel, growing the engine that moves this vehicle of our body, you show up in every area of your life just as a 10 times better human being. You show up within your training and you're able to put in the amount of effort that you need to without having to worry about you being your biggest enemy. You stop negotiating with yourself and you do the things that you know you need to do. But without putting all of your attention into the fitness side, you still have energy left over to be able to put it into your work and be able to use that to continue to grow and create and do the job that you were put on this earth to be able to do. And that's what allows me to tap into my spirituality. Whenever I am listening to my conscious and acting on the things that it is telling me to do, showing up in every single area of my life the way that God intended for me to, and not half-assing it, not pussyfooting it, but showing up and showing out in every single area. And so instead of just training hybrid and making that my personality and saying, oh, all of my energy and attention is going to be put on me being the best athlete I can be, I am now putting it into every bucket that moves the needle, and I'm making sure that I become undeniable. This is the exact same protocol that I teach every single one of my clients with inside of the Shift program. Because what I realized is that most people want to be able to get in shape or win some award or run this race because of the way they believe it'll make them feel about themselves. But whenever they do that, they get so caught up in the end destination that they don't pay attention to the person they become on the journey. And that's the entire reason why you should go after any pursuit, because whenever you set a goal, you're essentially setting a new character that you want to be able to show up as. And so within the training, you become that character and you develop the characteristics that allow you to remain that person and become the person that you know you can be. But whenever you put all of your attention just on the outcome, just on the end goal, just on the metal or the materialistic thing, what you do is you prevent yourself from making the shifts that are necessary for you to be able to develop and become the version of you that can achieve the things that you want to see. And so I want to give you a breakdown around how my training will go. Because I will still have running in my training, I will still be doing races, but on top of that, I am doubling down on my mindset and raising the frequency at which it is set at. Because The reason why this is so important is everyone always looks at the physical world as if it's the only thing that matters. But the issue is the physical world is just a manifestation of your internal world. And so your internal dictates your external. And so if you want to be able to see a level up or an upgrade in your external, you have to be always developing your mind, always upgrading the frequency at which you emit. And what is your frequency? It's essentially the electromagnetic pulse that you give off into the universe that attracts more of the same thing back to you. And what it does is it taps into the metaphysical. And so again, everyone thinks that this physical realm is the only thing that matters, but they completely skip out on the metaphysical, the part that is never changing, the part where everything exists, where you can literally have anything that you desire. You just have to raise your frequency in alignment with that. And so now, just as much energy that is going into my physical will be going into raising my frequency and becoming the version of me that I know I need to be able to achieve the goals that I have, to be able to make the impact that I want to make on this world. And within work, I will be putting the same amount of attention and detail into it as well. Because what happens whenever I start to raise my frequency, I start to listen to my conscious more. I start to connect with my creator and I hear him tell me the things that I need to act on. And whenever I do that, I act not out of desperation, but out of creation. And every time I have created out of creation, everything is just so much more potent. It just feels as if I am connected to something that is much bigger than myself, and I am being used as a vessel to be able to display a message. And that's what happens whenever you train to be undeniable, because you put as much attention and detail into every area of your life and not just max out in one, but you max out in every single category that matters. And so that is why I'm done training hybrid. Yes, I will be running and I will be lifting, but that is no longer going to be the quote unquote identity that I hold or the most important thing that I am working towards. And what I will do is now spread out my importance around each and every single one of these categories and maximize every area of my life so that I can become the version of me that I need to be able to increase the impact that I have on this world. And so that's the video, because I see so many people talking about like, oh, training hybrid athlete or just training to like hypertrophy or whatever it is. The truth is, all of them are great. It just depends on your goals. And so I will go through phases where I train hybrid. I will go through phases where I strictly train hypertrophy style, and I'll go through circuit workouts whenever I want. But what I do it for is more so that I can keep my interest within fitness. I've been working out for over 13 years now, and I got to spice it up if I want to be able to keep that passion that I have. But no longer will I identify myself as one or the other or anything along those lines, because there's such a divide between just training hypertrophy style and training hybrid. It's like people always have an opinion on which one is better. None of them are better or worse. It just depends on the goals that you were going for. And right now, my goals is to max out every area of my life. And so I will train hybrid, I will train hypertrophy, and I will train my mind in just as much attention and detail as I do within every other area of my life. And I will develop myself into the person that I know I need to be so that I can make the impact that God put me on this earth to make. And so that's the video for today. I wanted to explain why whenever people ask me what type of training style I do, I don't say it is one or the other, because it's a mixture of all of them. The only reason I train is so that I can become undeniable. And I train my physical, mental, and spiritual all with the same level of intensity that allows me to continuously move the needle. Because as somebody who is building something, or if you are somebody who has to make a lot of decisions because you're in a position of influence, you should not be wasting time, trying to run as fast as you possibly can, lift as much as you possibly can, and then try and work on building your business with whatever energy that you have left. You have to be able to spread out the energy that you have throughout the day in an equal amount to be able to level up in the areas that are the most important to you. And so that's the video for today. And I'll see you in the next